If you're in midlife and beyond, you may well be suffering from what I call midlife burnout. So in this video, I am going to talk to you about how to identify midlife burnout, and I'm going to give you 7 simple tips to recover from midlife burnout. All right, so let's dive in. I'm Sophie. If you're new to my channel, I work with women over the age of 45 to help them age powerfully in mind, body, and spirit. And this is what I see a lot. Women coming to me and they feel burnout can just show up as being a little bit depressed, feeling hopeless, helpless, exhausted, maybe anxiety, maybe even panic attacks. So it can show up in many ways, and sometimes you don't recognize it until it's screaming at you because we're so used to pushing through. We're so used to being in survival mode, in being in fear mode, which is basically fight, flight, or freeze mode, but we can only stay in that mode continually 24/7 for so long before we will burn out and something will happen and the system begins to break down. And as I said, that can show up as anxiety, low-level depression, exhaustion, absolute exhaustion, panic attacks, and it can also show up as your body beginning to break down as well. So let's get into it. These 7 tips that are really going to help you. Number 1 is listen to your body's signals. Now, your body is intelligent, your body keeps the score. You've probably heard of that before. There's a book written about this entitled Your Body Keeps the Score, but it really does. So everything that you've been through over the last 2 decades, all of the difficulties and the traumas and the loss and the resentment and everything that you've been through, okay, it's all there. Your body becomes a crystallization of that, and many women don't deal with it because they are so busy just taking care of everybody else. This is so common, isn't it, in midlife and beyond. I've got elderly parents to take care of. Everybody needs you. You've got adult children that might need help as well. You're juggling a career. There's a lot. It's a lot. And so we just got to survive, and we got to push through, and we ignore our body that is trying to tell us that it needs attention, that there's something not right. Now, some of your body's signals can be some of the things that I've already mentioned to you, just waking up utterly exhausted or just having this total energy crash in the afternoon and you just feel like you need sugar even to be able to get through. It can be anxiety, it can be low-level depression, it can be feeling hopeless, it can be just fear and doom and gloom of your future, it can be overwhelmed. So those are the emotional, psychological. On a physical level, it can be inflammation. Your body can start getting really, really inflamed, massive aches and pains when you wake up in the morning. There can be a lot of GI distress as well because your gut health suffers with all of this stress and burnout. So that can be food sensitivities, it can be gas and bloating, it can be IBS, it can be just general GI distress, it can be headaches, it can be migraines. There's a number of different things. So I want you to not ignore any of your body's signals and to really, really listen. And one of the things that you can do that is useful is you can do a little body scan, and this is what I have a lot of my clients do, is that you can just lie down on the floor, almost in a corpse pose, or shavasana as it's called in yoga, on a nice comfy mat or a yoga mat. Just lie down, cushion underneath your head, cushion underneath your knees, and just draw your awareness slowly, very, very slowly, maybe put some beautiful music on, and just listen and scan your body and start a conversation with your body, like what are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to tell me? What do I need to listen to? What part of my body is calling me to listen? That's the first step that I want you to do. Okay, so tip number 2 is get in touch with your emotions. So many of the women that I work with have spent years, if not decades, just pushing their emotions under the rug because they haven't got time to deal with them, or this is very common with women that I work with, they make wrong of them. I shouldn't be feeling this way. I shouldn't be feeling angry. I shouldn't be feeling better. I shouldn't be feeling annoyed, irritated, overwhelmed. I shouldn't be. And I shouldn't be, just saying I shouldn't be means that you are stuffing it. You're not validating it, you are making it wrong, and you're pushing it away somewhere. You're resisting it. Whatever you resist will persist. And I believe in midlife, these emotions need to come up to be dealt with, or something is going to go sideways and it'll come back and bite you. So this is a lot of the work that I do with my clients, just allowing these emotions to come up and validating them and holding space for them, leaning into them rather than resisting them. And some women even find it very hard to get in touch with their emotions. If you've been on autopilot for years and years and years, just pushing your emotions down, then you might actually even feel numb. It's like, I don't even know what I'm feeling. And in which case, a little tip is get a playlist of sad songs, as odd as that sounds, of your favorite beautiful, heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching, beautiful music. Create a playlist and listen to it. Go somewhere quiet, get cuddled up on the couch, or if weather permitting, go sit outside or go walk with it and listen to these songs and let it wash over you, and just see if that starts to elicit some emotion that's just stuck and wants to come up. Okay, so tip number 3 is try and find somebody who you can trust to hold space for you, to vent. And so this could be a really close friend, it could be a spouse or partner or a family member, very often not. It could be a group of like-minded women that you can really trust. It could be a mentor, it could be a coach. You need somebody who you can just sit and vent. And that means you can just let it all out. And this individual is holding space for you. Now, here's the key. When I say trust, I don't mean they're not going to tell anybody your secrets. Trust. I mean that you can trust them, that they're not going to try and fix you or give you unsolicited advice. Venting does not need or require that. A vent is a vent. It's just like I'm putting it all out there. It just needs to come out. Like I need to put the trash out. Okay, another tool that I teach my clients, I just need to get it out. So very often what you'll need to say to your partner, your friend, somebody, particularly if it's not a trained professional, you might need to say to them, listen, I just need to vent. I just need to get all this on my chest. And I want to ask you with all due respect, I just don't need answers. I don't need you to fix me. I don't need you to problem solve for me. I just need you to hold space and listen. That's it. And if you ask for it in that way, that person will very likely, they'll be tempted to. They are, spouses, partners, and often best friends are just so itching and tempting to fix it because they love you, and sometimes it can make them feel uncomfortable. But if you ask and you make clear for what you need and want, that is the thing that you need to do, and that can be really, really helpful, particularly with a good girlfriend. Okay, tip number 4 is pare down your long to-do list. Most of your to-do lists are way, 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 way too long. And every day you're looking at that list and it just makes you feel even more burned out. And you're setting yourself up for failure the more things that you add to that list, because you're just not going to get to them. So my tip is just pick 3 things every day. So I have my clients pick the 3 most important things, like their 3 top priorities. It's back to the Franklin Covey, who was the kind of legendary, created all the original planning systems. And it was like you get the 3 most important rocks in the jar first before you put in the pebbles and the sand. So those would be your 3 top priorities for any given day, just 3. Because you want to get to bed that night, do it, saying to yourself, that sense of completion is I did those 3 things. I might not have got to the hundreds of other things that need to be done in my life. It doesn't matter, you did those 3 things. But either way, we have to begin to pare down that long to-do list. It's so, so important to recover from burnout. All right, tip number 5 is, I think we're on 5, yes, is feed your body nourishing foods. Because when we're in burnout, we tend to reach for foods that actually aren't very good for us because we're exhausted, we're tired, we're fatigued. So we want the ultra-processed foods because they give us a dopamine hit, whether it's the chips, the cheese, the sugar, the refined, whatever it is, the ultra-processed foods. They make us feel better for a hot second and they give us this sort of dopamine and caloric rush. But it is a very, very, very short moment before everything plummets down again and you feel even crappier than before you ate that food. So you really want to look to very nourishing foods, like comforting, nourishing foods. I really look at and teach my clients to have beautiful kind of sort of plant-based hearty soups is the ultimate comfort food, and lovely smoothies and things like that, full of protein to keep you satiated, and plant-based because that's going to have the antioxidants, the phytonutrients, it's going to feed your gut health, which is going to make you feel better and make your mood feel better. So you want to really think, certainly at this stage, if you're in burnout, you are not dieting, you are not restricting, you are not forcing, you are on it. Please don't. It's about nourishing. All right, tip number 6 is give up alcohol just for a while, because alcohol just is never going to fix anything. It might numb you for a moment, it might take the edge off, but it's going to make it worse. Particularly for women over 50, because when we have alcohol, which most of the time, a lot of ladies, when they first start working with me, they're like, oh no, I'm used to kicking back with a couple of glasses of wine, and I really encourage them to put that down, because any amount of alcohol in the evening leads to impaired sleep. You are not going to get such a good night's sleep. Your body processes alcohol very differently in menopause and beyond. And so it might knock you out initially, but then you are not going to sleep so deeply, and we need our sleep so badly in our recovery from midlife burnout. And there are many other things with alcohol that just aren't going to do you any favors. So I would definitely think about, for a certain period of time at least, just putting the alcohol down and instead having lovely drip mocktails and kombucha and lovely sparkly water, and just nourishing your body with those lovely drinks instead. And tip number 7 is movement and touch. Now, when you're recovering from burnout, you don't want to do crazy movement. When women come to work with me, and if you follow me and I'm a huge proponent of doing all the multimodal exercise, we need to do that after the age of 50, our strength training, our VO2 max, and all of the different things that we do to age-proof our bodies. But we've got to do it slowly and incrementally, not just if you try and run into a gym and start lifting heavy when you are absolutely burned out, it could be unsafe and it'll really set you back. I really don't recommend it. So in terms of movement, you just want to start with very simple. It can be walking, and then you can add something and turn that into a certain kind of a walk, and then you can start adding some yoga and some balancing, and you sort of slowly work your way into it. So lots of gentle movement. And the other thing is touch. So touch is so important because it's part of this thing that we've lost this in burnout, this ability to sort of almost feel our senses and to really love ourselves and to do that deep and beautiful self-care. So the best thing you could do is have a massage or cranial massage or reflexology or something where a therapist is actually touching you. Is so beautiful. It's not a luxury, I think it's necessary, honestly, if you're in burnout. It can unlock grief, it can unlock some of those emotions if you're working with somebody really good. And if you can't, it's just not on the cards for you to have that kind of a massage. At the very least, learn to give yourself a self-massage with beautiful aromatherapy oils. You can warm the oil, have a nice long bath or shower. Very slowly give yourself a self-massage and pay attention to those areas of your body that probably you're very mean to, like, oh, I hate my belly or my thighs or whatever it is. But just start loving those areas of your body, and just, through touch, just giving yourself this very, this special touch. So those are the 7 tips to recover from midlife burnout. It's a thing, and I see it getting worse and worse. I really do. It's like an epidemic right now. Don't ignore it. Don't. Because I've seen women ignore it, and it doesn't end well. If you ignore it, you do need to deal with it. And if you need help, as I've said before, if you're like, I just can't do this on my own and I do need some help on putting all this together and a helping hand and mentorship or coaching or whatever, then you can book a complimentary breakthrough session with me, and we can have a look at where you're at, what you're struggling with specifically, and see if even working together would be a good fit or not. It would be a very valuable call for you either way. And check out some of my other videos, because I have so many videos on lifestyle, helping women to age powerfully in mind, body and spirit after the age of 45. So I will see you next time.